world news, local politics, saving money and investing, all this and more right here on USALA Radio. Your voice, your radio.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to USALA Media. This is David Torres, your host, and you're on An Hour with Dave. Hello, everyone. Once again, you're here with Dave, An Hour with Dave on USALA Media. We got a lot to talk about. We have Carnell Harley here. We're going to be meeting him very shortly. I want to just say a few things to the public across the country and, ask you to kind of spread the message out. Crime is going high across the country, and people are dying. In Philadelphia here, we're 36% up from last year, this time last year. It's just not acceptable. We're not going to settle differences. Forget about parties or whatever, because no differences are going to be settled if we're going to keep shooting at each other and burning stuff down. We have to come to a point where we need to sit down and talk. So let's spread some love and let's spread some understanding and tell people to take a deep breath, look around, let's clean up the messes you guys are making, and let's talk. Okay? With that all, I want to take a moment now to introduce Carnell, a really nice gentleman, a good friend, fellow Republican. Carnell, say hi and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carnell Harley. I'd just like to give Dave Torres, he's a friend, he's a mentor, and he's my brother. That's the opportunity just to be here, just to be on the show. I'm the 13th Ward Leader in Philadelphia. That's the Nicetown Tioga section. Also the Sergeant Arms of the Philadelphia Republican Party. And I'm also the Executive Director of North by Northwest Philadelphia.
Beautiful. That alone keeps you pretty busy, right?
Yes.
Carnell, how's it going? How's it going in your neighborhood, in your ward, with everything happening? Are you seeing changes? Are you seeing status? You see people nervous? Are churches opening up? What's happening?
No churches opening up. To me, it seemed like it's getting worse.
Getting worse?
Yes. The shootings, the people staying home, people not working. It's crazy out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's happening around because I see it in my ward also.
Yes.
The crime rate, obviously, you heard me earlier on my monologue where I was talking about Philadelphia has seen a more than 30% rise in homicides just in Philadelphia. And, guys, a city of brotherly love. I'm not feeling the love right now.
Yes, because that's actually, I looked at the crime report as of yesterday. The homicide is up to 243.
243?
Yes.
Yeah, and I believe that's 30 or 36% above what it was this time
I think it's
last year.
31%.
31%?
31%, yes.
Yeah, and that's pretty deep. So I know my area has been affected pretty bad.
Yes.
And it's a shame because I have issues, like you're saying, churches being closed. I have some serious issues with what's happening in the community here.
Well,
and especially when it comes to the mayor and the governor, because we're almost like the city is being held hostage.
yes. Well,
by these two cats who just want to control what's happening.
no. Well, if you look at that's the murderer, and if you look at the map of Philadelphia, most of your murderers are in your section, North Philly, Kensington, Nicetown.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the map, that's like the heart of Philadelphia. So we're bleeding in the heart of Philadelphia. That's where most of your murders are at in the city.
Well, there's a heavy control factor that I'm looking at within the city now.
Yeah.
When you have churches closed and you can't have a service, but you have liquor stores open, you have bars being able to set tables outside, and I have nothing with anybody having a drink, and that's cool with me. You have that. Luckily, we don't have marijuana dispensaries sold here, but across the country, marijuana dispensaries are open. Abortion centers are open.
Mm-hmm.
You can go on and on and on. Protesting without permits, they're they're open.
Yeah.
But when you say you want to go to church and get together, this is a city of brotherly love. And what on one time, Philadelphia was known as the city of churches.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, and now you took the city of churches and you made it almost illegal for you to have a church service outside. And I'm challenging every pastor that's out there across the country. Open your doors, take your chairs outside,
mhm.
and put the service outside into the streets again, and make your mayors and your governors come out and lock you up, because it ain't gonna happen. You have the right to have a church service, just like they have the right to leave bars open and open liquor stores and abortion centers. That's nonsense for you to be told, and for you to accept it as Christians. It's wrong.
Yep. Well, I mean, they have the online services, and it's okay. But like the Bible say, when two or three are gathered, I mean, it's about the Spirit of the Lord. And once the Spirit, it seems like they're just trying to take the Spirit of the Lord out of everything.
Well, yeah.
See, the thing is, once we all get together as a group, as people, it's more love instead of this social
Right.
distancing.
We need to have every one of these churches open. Every church, I don't care what religion you are, if you believe in Judaism, if you believe in, if you're
Christianity.
Baptist or Protestant or Catholic, we should all come together and say, no, we're going to open our doors and we're coming out, because guess what? I can guarantee you the cops are not going to lock you up.
No.
That ain't going to happen.
No.
Okay? Because they're abusing the churches, and there's nonsense with defunding police officers. Stop the nonsense already.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely don't need to defund them. We need reform, but I mean you need more money for education and more training. And more training.
Education and training.
Yes.
Okay? But let's be real. When you have some clown charging at you with scissors or knife
Mhm.
or a gun, I don't want you to sit here and say you have the right not to do that.
Yeah.
And please don't stab me, or when you had 15 people shot in last weekend in Chicago, they want to defund police. The mayor doesn't want any assistance. But when them 14 people were being shot in Chicago, everybody who was screaming was all dialing 911. They were running one direction, and who's running in the other direction to help? The people you're defunding.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
and Black Lives Matter wasn't out there when those people was dying in the streets, when them kids was dying,
No.
when them young ladies, young women dying. I lost two young guys that I coached. One was 19, one just turned 19, and one just turned 25. And they wasn't a part of the streets.
Yeah.
But nobody's marching out there for them.
No. There's a lot of and 7-year-olds and 4-year-olds and
Mhm.
3-year-olds.
6 years, 6-year-old. Yes.
It's not happening, and it needs to stop. You may have some bad apples. I don't doubt it. They're all over the place.
Like I say, it's always that 5%. It's always that 5% that's bad.
Okay, so you got 5%, because of 5%, that's why they have special departments to kind of weed out. Maybe we need to put a little more pressure and have that department look a little tighter when it comes to a police officer doing something. But listen, if you're out there and you've been out there, you go to stores, you got some nice storekeepers, you got some nasty storekeepers,
Yeah.
you got some nice plumbers, you got bad plumbers, you got nice doctors, you got bad doctors. It happens everywhere you go, in every part of life that you're in. Clergy people. You have good people, you have people who are hiding behind the clerginess, and then they're doing sick things out there. So it happens.
Yep.
It happens, and we need to stop treating police officers like they're animals, because they ain't animals. They're good people. They're not out there to get rich.
Well, if you just walk up to a police officer and just talk to them, you can see they a person just like everybody else.
Like everybody else. And I'm sure you got some nasty ones.
Oh yeah.
But, it's a little harder to be a police officer now when you got people spitting in your face and throwing rocks and
Well,
bottles at you.
Well, like I was talking to my nephew, like I told him, as me growing up, I had more people look like me profile me than a white police officer. And that's me growing up in North Philadelphia,
Okay.
where I got pulled over more from a black cop. I got more slack from a black cop than I got from a white cop. So,
Yeah, and I'm sure it goes both ways. I'm
mm-hmm.
sure, but we have to stop the nonsense because you can't keep doing this to the police officers, man. This is what's happened to them across the country is brutal.
yeah.
It's brutal, and it's disrespectful. They're the front line,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, I want everybody to think about when you heard them gunshots in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning, or when you hear the sirens running. They're running into a situation that they're going into crime that's already been committed.
Yeah.
It isn't like they're going in there to stop you from getting to that corner, stop you from the crime from happening.
Mm-hmm.
The crime already happened or is in progress.
Yeah.
They're running in, risking their life.
Well, but what's funny, because you hear a lot of people say, "Why cops not there before it happened?" You like that. That's one of the things I'm starting to hear. Okay, we knew why they not there before it happened, but you never see a fireman there before the fire started.
No, that's actually true. That's actually true. If we could prevent things a little more, we would be better off.
Yeah, you don't see an ETM there waiting for somebody to pass out.
I don't know. With this heat wave, they could stand on Fifth and Lehigh, and it'll probably happen.
Yeah, so.
But when we get back, I want to get into the city opening up, see where your feelings are at, what your ward's looking like, how the businesses in your areas are being affected with the closure, and how the school closure is looking like it's going to affect you. I personally don't understand how, in my personal opinion, and we'll get to talk about that, how the schools are going to close and stay closed. Does that mean they're not going to take all that federal fund? I don't understand that. I mean, because, they're not doing their job. That's a little craziness.
Well, like you said, when we get back, we get into all that good stuff.
When we get back, we're gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk to Cornell and see what his feelings are in his community, his ward, and what's the sense he's getting about reopening the city. And then we're going to get into the school system in the next segment after that. So hang in there, guys.
Being prepared is a part of who you are. But it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
And welcome back, everyone. Once again, we're here with Cornell Hartley, very respected gentleman and a good friend and a brother. And we've been discussing some of the things that's happening in the city, and kind of let him get his thoughts together and wrap it around two of the topics that I want to talk to him right now, which one of them is opening of the city. Where you at with that?
Well, according to the governor and the mayor, right now the city is not fully open. in which I mean, because you have a lot of businesses that still out there struggling and can't. They're not fully. They're 25% capacity when they're used to 100% capacity. So they're not making their money that they're used to making pre-pandemic. So I'm like I said, I'm against it because if you could go to Walmart, you could shop, you could be out with your mask and stuff. Same thing with these restaurants. Put your mask on. When you sit down, you can take it off. So same way because Walmart is not at 20% when you go shopping. The shop right, the supermarkets.
Well, yeah, and they try to give you free distance where I go, and I think that a lot of this country depends on the small mom and pop businesses.
Yeah.
And
they
the
the
barber
backbones.
shops, and the little the hairstyles and the nail salons, et cetera, et cetera. These are small little businesses, and they're hurting right now, and we need to stop you know there is an issue out there with this pandemic, but I think now the issue with the pandemic is getting really politics is getting involved in it just a little too deep.
When it's close to a 99% survival rate, wear your mask, wash your hands, like they've been telling since day one. Wear your mask, wash your hands, stay 6 feet apart.
Yeah, it's scary to think that we're going to continue to keep the cities, and you know what? When you're looking at it, you got all the protesting going on, you got all the activities going on. You have people out there, they're walking the streets and they're doing what they got to do, and come on, guys, you're hurting us by not letting our city open up.
Well,
you know?
but you look at all the business, they've been doing what they're supposed to do since day one, since the beginning of this pandemic. But then soon you have your protests, like you said, without permits. They not one time saying anything.
No.
It was okay. All these people gathered together, take masks off, dance in the street, tear up our city. Not one time did they say anything. But they're strict on businesses open. They want to penalize somebody. They want to take your business license from you. They want to take your liquor license from you because you're trying to survive.
Yeah, and I think it's what you're doing to the small business people out here. It's a crime, and we need to look at all these mayors and governors who are pulling the shirt strings and forcing people to do things that everybody knows outright it's not cool. I want to see our businesses open again. I want to see our city thriving again. You're driving us. These closures of the cities are driving us so deep into debt. It's almost like the political parties want to see us dive into a black hole that we're not going to come out of.
Well,
What are you going to do? Turn around and give China back all the rights? Not only do we need our cities to open up, but I think we should now look at every state and see what can every state do and produce that we can take away from China.
yeah.
We should get Washington should get a group of people, and when I say Washington and a group of people, I'm not talking about one particular party. We should, as voters, I say we should demand that we put 6 Republicans in one room and 6 Democrats in a room and say, how are you going to open up every city? And the top of open up every city, what business are you going to take away from China and bring it back over here? And what city is going to get the right to open it up and start producing it here? We need to start making these politicians accountable for their actions and their jobs.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
what do you think about how do you feel about approaching this? Are we going to open this and we're going to do what we got to do, or what?
Well, I'm looking at just the mental of all the small businesses that's losing. How are they going to be after all this is over? Are they still going to have their business, or they have to go bankrupt? And the mentality. I mean, like we you ever served before? Same thing. Like what's going on is are they gonna have that PTSD because they can't survive? They don't know how they're going to feed their family because it's a certain living that they was living at. Now they have to live under the means where they was at, where they
Sure.
had their own business. So how we gonna treat that first after all is over when they can't rebound from their business?
I think and I put a lot of responsibility on local leadership, and when I say local leadership, I'm not talking about city council.
Yeah.
I'm talking about communities. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
churches. I'm talking about we need to get our act together so that we can force people, because it's we the people.
Yeah.
It's not we the city council,
Mhm.
we the congressmen, we the senators, we the president. No, it's we the people. And right now, it seems like it got reversed, and the government thinks it controls everything.
Yeah.
It's telling you when to drink, when not to drink, what's going to be next.
Yeah. Well, to your question, that's like we can manufacture a lot of things over here. We don't have to give them to China, like you said. Bring all the manufacturing jobs back here.
Bring it back.
What China was doing. Bring them back here. Pay them wages. Like-
Well, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. We need to bring them back. Here's the thing. Okay? Everybody who's sitting in Washington right now and who sits in Harrisburg right now and who sits in your city council right now, especially Congress and Senate, telling you this did not start when Trump got into office. China did not all of a sudden take control of all our antibiotics
No.
when Trump came into office. And it wasn't a rouge from Russia that Trump got in, so they're gonna take everything and make it in China. So don't let it go there, because that's what they're gonna try to tell you. This has been going on for a long time. So if your congressman's been there for 10 years, trust me, he or she knew this nonsense was going on.
They're part of the problem.
That's it. If it was your senators for 10, 15 years, they know it. Okay? Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, I could start naming everybody from the left and the right. If they've been there for more than 4 years, they know what's been happening.
Mm-hmm.
They sit there and they say athletes come out and Nike. You know what? They're not made here.
No.
They're not made here. Why do we have millionaires, athletes, billionaires, and they complain about all the rights and movements and the rights for this and the rights for that? Well, if you're so invested in worrying about the rights of the people and people getting better and moving up, then why is your business all the way in China?
Yeah. And just look at the city of Philadelphia. It was once one of the most manufactured cities in the
Yeah.
United States. And now look at it, especially in this area. This area was nothing but manufacturing jobs. You had Bud's right there off of Highland Park, a big manufacturing company that employed almost all of North Philadelphia.
Also, Schmitz.
Yeah.
That was out here, the beer distributor. You had the two chocolate factories.
Yeah.
The one that
Tasty
was on
Cake.
2nd Street. You had Tasty Cake.
Yeah.
I can go on and on. You had
Yeah.
3D that used to make the suits.
Mm-hmm.
LD, LTD,
Nabisco.
and Nabisco. There's a lot. Pepsi hung in there with us.
Yeah.
Coke's hanging in there with us.
You had a lot of manufacturing jobs that went to regular people.
Yeah. We lost a lot. And that's what I'm saying. Whenever you guys are thinking about voting coming up, man, it's about 100 days left. You need to think about that, because these suckers have been in there for more than 4 years. There's going to be a fourth year for Trump. It didn't start with Trump. Stop letting them snow you and blow stuff you know where,
Yeah.
because it ain't happening. Them people knew. They all knew. The presidents all before him knew. I don't care who they are, rich or poor, when they got there. Ain't nobody in Congress got in there poor and leaving poor. It ain't happening. Okay? They all got some good stuff going on, but you're being suckered. Did any of you have any clue that right now, if we seriously needed an antibiotic and China gets pissed, do we have it? You better hope that we can buy the stuff from Canada or Mexico or France, because China controls every antibiotic you get. Never mind everything else that you have.
Yeah.
So everybody in Washington owns a piece of what happened out here.
Yeah.
Everybody in Washington owns a piece of the pandemic. Because at one time it wasn't a threat, and you had some Democrats running around in Chinatown talking about, yay, come on all out. And then we closed the cities, closed the airlines down.
On January 30th.
Yeah, we closed them down. Then it was racism. Now that they want to open them, it's like, what are you doing? You know, so, you know, you need to stop letting these guys play head games with you guys, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're playing head games and they're using the political arena to sucker you.
Well, we got to stop believing everything that come on TV and start doing our own research.
Yeah.
You have to start doing, because you really get that sound bites. They're going to
Yeah.
give you what they want you to hear, instead of giving you the truth.
And they'll lie, and they'll lie, and they'll lie. Everybody knows where this pandemic started. Everybody knows it. So when you hear them say that it's Trump's pandemic, it isn't.
Now, that's a blame game.
Yeah, you know, and that's what you're going to have. When we get back on the next segment, I want to talk about the schools.
Okay.
What's happening with our kids out there. I know that's important to you. It's
Oh, yeah.
important to me. And I know that plays dear to your heart when it comes to kids. So I'll see you back in about a minute.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
All right, everybody, here we are again, and I'm like I told you, I'm sitting here with Colonel Harley, and the brother is an amazing guy. He does a lot in the community. He does a lot with kids, and the next part of this subject is what's happening with the schools, and is dear to his heart, because you coach kids, you do a lot with kids, don't you?
Coach Little League football right there, 22nd and Lehigh, right behind in Connie Mack.
Connie Mack?
Connie Mack Park. What you call Cecil B. Moore, but
Oh,
growing up in
all
North
right,
Philly,
yeah,
Connie
I know
Mack, Connie
you
Mack.
changed up on me with that name.
Yeah,
there.
but that's me growing up. That's all we used to call it, Connie Mack Park. Everybody knew it was that, right behind Dobbins.
You still coaching now?
Yes, I'm coaching 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock
Yes,
every day.
every day. Well, Monday through Thursday.
Just football?
Just football right now.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Listen, so what's happening? Are you out there practicing now with the kids, even with the pandemic going on?
Yes, we out there with the kids. Running
Any
them.
pushback?
No, not right now. Actually, more and more kids like because we're a new team. More and more kids starting to come out. More and more
Okay.
kids starting to.
But are you actively playing other teams yet or no?
no, not yet. The season don't start till August 1st.
Okay.
So
Are you
that's
are,
what-
are you planning on the season? Are the other teams giving
Well,
you any feedback whether
our-
they're opening or not?
Our league right now is open. I
It
know
is.
there's certain teams like I seen the Philadelphia Aztecs say they won't play this season,
Okay.
and that's like the Pop Warner side. But in our league right now, we're open. We have a meeting on Saturday.
Beautiful.
So, but right now we scheduled to play. August 1st is when the first day we get to go on equipment and things like that.
Okay.
So
And you seem to be all right with everything going on. Any of the kids that you know are coming down with anything?
no.
Everybody's doing good?
Everybody doing good. Everybody, we making sure they stay hydrated because of the weather.
Right.
Like I said, right now we're just practicing for about like an hour to an hour and a half, according to like the heat. Like I said, you really don't want to overdo it with them.
Yeah, but you're also not getting a lot of kids coming up with the percentage of them coming up with the kids with the pandemic is really low.
Yeah.
You know, that number is super low. So, I mean, we got professional athletes. I mean, we just got hit on the Eagles side, didn't we?
No, that was the Sixers. Well, no, baseball team.
No, we got hit on the Eagles side. Oh man, an old football player.
Well,
I got one over on him.
Well, you know,
Oh.
you know, I'm not an Eagles fan.
What happened? Malcolm Butler. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that-
came out.
Yeah,
He
but
came out
that's
positive with it.
But that's only one. But I'm not an Eagles fan, so I'm not following the Eagles.
Oh.
So-
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Philadelphia man's not an Eagles
I'm
fan.
not an Eagles fan. I'm not a Dallas fan though, but I'm not an Eagles fan. Let me say that. I'm a Redskins fan.
Redskins? Oh, well, you can't
Yeah.
claim that anymore either because Redskins don't exist
Oh,
anymore.
oh, my bad.
It's blank right now, ain't
It's
it?
blank. Okay.
So what's happening?
I'm a
with
Skins
you?
fan. Let me say Skins fan. Let me say that. I'm a Skins fan. I go all the way back to '87 when Doug Williams won the Super Bowl against John Elway.
Yeah, that was the last time they were there too, right?
No, '91 was. Let's talk about these kids.
You don't want to talk about how many times the Eagles crushed their hopes, right?
I'm not worried about that. I mean, I'm just happy after 52 years the Eagles got their championship. That's all. After 52 years, I was happy. Like I said, so I won't be around for the next one.
Yeah. What's up? Okay, so what's up with your kids? What are you doing? What else you got planned for them? You help out with the school system or what?
Let's with the school. See that's gonna be an ugly situation because they're gonna go virtual right now. That's what they're talking about. But they're gonna open up for other online schools to actually come in and take more kids away from the school system and actually mess with the teacher union.
Deep, yeah.
And so you're actually opening up a can of worms for other agencies to actually get involved with this online and taking kids away and taking money away.
Yeah, I don't understand that where the mayor and the governor and the union is thinking. I mean,
Yeah.
I appreciate the public school system because I think that the
Yeah.
public school system is it needs help. It needs help, but it always serves. But we, again, the people,
Yeah.
we let things fall and we made excuses and we let things fall and we made excuses, and this is what we wound up with a public school system that's inadequate right
Yeah,
now.
and like you said, it's we the people because we always tend to like we blame the teachers. It's like it's their fault and it's our fault as parents because if you're not on your kids, then I mean the teachers they're gonna do what they're supposed to do, but we're there to reinforce what they're learning.
It's not going to work because first of all, you go to the online system. The kid's having trouble. He or she'll slack off more. It's going to be harder for a parent, especially if a parent
It's working.
doesn't know what's happening or can't help a child. Because, I look at some of this math that's out there now, and I used to love math.
Yeah.
But boy, I look at it now, I'm like, it scares me.
Well, but not even. But I mean, you might don't know it, but they have tutoring. They have tutoring.
Yeah.
So my thing is this: if your child having problems, you're making sure they're getting the help for it. Because, like when I was in high school, I was a math tutor. I was part of Mu Alpha Mu Theta in high school. It was a math club in Dobbins. So we used to tutor kids that had problems. But it's tutoring programs out there for parents to get the help for their kids.
Yeah. Well, there is tutoring, but there's a problem. You know, you can't. I don't think that opening the schools or closing the schools like this is not, because you have public schools that are opening up, and you have the public schools are staying closed. Private schools are opening up.
Mm-hmm.
Charter schools are opening up.
Yeah, but remember, the public schools have a problem with the charter schools. So, because remember, they trying to get rid of charter schools in the
Yeah.
state. But now you want to go to online. Now, when these online schools really start coming in, you have a problem with them because
Yeah.
they're taking kids away from you.
Yeah.
So, what the public schools going to do? Like I said, I believe in public education, but as long as you're teaching our kids.
Yeah, but and that brings me to the other piece that I'm concerned with, the monies.
Yeah.
We spend a whole lot of money that we give for public education per child.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens with that money if you're not providing the education that we expect for them dollars? You know, they're home.
Yeah.
You're not feeding them lunch. You're not feeding them breakfast. They're not in your classroom. You're not heating up these buildings. You're not running this. There's a lot going on.
No textbooks.
So,
No textbooks.
no textbooks. So exactly,
What is? Yeah.
where's all our money? I mean, are they gonna get all the money and then some? Or do taxpayers have the right to say, well, I want my money back?
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to send my kid to a charter school, you know, why are you charging me taxes? Give me my money back. If I want to put my kid in a private school, if I'm going to go on an online program, I want my money back.
Well, that's where the that school choice come in for the vouchers.
Yeah, but the taxes are still going to come out. So my thing is,
But that's what we're saying with the vouchers. So, if I'm paying my taxes, and I'm sending my kid to a school, then that voucher that's supposed to go to the public school need to come to me, and go to the school of my choice now.
right. But there's a lot involved in a lot of taxes and a lot of money that's going to this public school system, and it just ain't gonna be there, you know. So what is it? What are we paying tons of money for? Because you're not doing it anymore.
Well,
I mean, if you're gonna do an online study, you know, before you know it, the kids are gonna be learning off of a make-believe teacher or an animated teacher on a computer system.
yeah, well,
and
they
you don't
talking
need a
about going.
teacher.
That's for the till November. So, but like I said, that little bit of time can open up for a lot of online schools to
Yeah, but
actually come in.
I don't buy it. If it's to November, who came up with November?
That's
November what? You decide November 3rd.
That's what.
So if Biden is in, then the schools are going to miraculously open and no kids are going to be sick and nobody's going to spread the virus. And if Trump wins, we're going to keep our kids at school. We're like the 36th or 37th in education in this world. And now you're going to want our kids to be what? Stupider? That doesn't work for me.
Well, when I look at it, remember, they try to keep education away from us.
Oh, they're doing a good job of it right now.
But this back then. Now you're looking at now, because when they first went out, they said a lot of kids wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. But they still passed them.
Yeah.
They still from March until now, until they got out of school.
And we're back to the same thing. I
Yeah.
think that we, the people, us as parents, have to say no. You're not going to make the decision about what's happening to my kid. You're not going to make my kid give him less opportunity.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, you know, they go in and they say everybody's going to college. Well, You know what? I know plumbers out there that'll make a damn good money. I know electricians that are making good money. I know carpenters that are making good money. You know, and yeah, we need doctors and we need lawyers and et cetera, et cetera. But not every kid is ready for college. You know, there's people that are like being mechanics.
Yeah, that's one
You
of the
know.
things I actually talked about. Like, if I was to run, I would advocate for more trades to come back into the schools
Yeah. Yeah.
because I went to a trade school. I studied foundry, and coming out of high school in '91, even though I still went to college, I was offered a job making $18 an hour at Bud's in '91. So I turned down a lot of money just to go to college.
Yeah.
But even though they closed, I know I made the right decision. But just imagine at 18, making $18 an hour in '91.
We need to open up the trade schools.
Yeah.
We need to open up the factories. We need to get people out here who ain't gonna be college material. And frankly, the stuff that's coming out of some colleges is a joke.
Yeah, but the one thing too that we don't teach our kids in school is how to be your own boss.
Yeah.
How to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
How to start your own business.
But you're being controlled. They're controlling. I mean, they're controlling. If they're going to start to control when you go to school, where you go to, what's happening, every school, that's why they have the censors, because they figure out the censors and the monies and the dollars and the blip, blip, blip. Okay? That's cool. What happens with that chunk of money? Nobody seems to be giving a real answer.
Yeah.
When we come back, it's going to be our last segment, and we're going to brush over a couple things and give a couple shout outs.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education. No one receives a diploma alone. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
All right, everyone. All right, it's almost the about up to the hour of an hour with Dave. We got a last segment going on. We're here with Cornell, Harley, and you are on Usala Media and an hour with Dave. We are now gonna kind of wrap up what we were talking about. Um, we know that we lost a lot of lives.
Yeah.
We know things are bad, Cornell. What are your thoughts on how we can bring this community back together? Because I keep pushing the church end of it. I think that churches, we need to get the foundation of churches back on its feet, and the members of each church and our religion back out here, so that we can make a difference. That's going to be a start of the unity. Don't lock the doors, and let's get out there and say, no, you're not going to keep destroying our cities and our streets and taking the lives of our youths.
Yeah, well, I
So-
mean, growing up when people was hurting and or homeless, the doors was open in the church, and that's where people found refuge. That's where people found peace. That's where people found comfort. And by closing it, you can't find that on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, because the people that's out there that don't have that accessibility to the internet, I'm not gonna find church because the doors are closed. So I mean, we need to open up the doors of the church.
We need to open up. I think we need to get, and I'm going to start to call a few pastors this week, and my goal is to try to get a few pastors from different denominations and see if we can start a chain where we can get a certain time and date and say we're going to pray for the nation, we're going to pray for the leaders, but also we're going to get the churches to take the message outside.
Yeah.
And if we can get the message outside again, I know that I have faith, and I believe that if we get the message outside again, it's going to make a humongous difference.
Yeah.
You know, but it's going to take everybody. It can't take one person.
Yeah.
It's got to take everybody. So I don't know. What else do you think we can do to get things moving forward?
Well, you've been saying we the people, and I'm looking at just the violence in the city of Philadelphia alone. I'm not talking about Chicago. I'm not talking about Detroit because I think they passed us. But just in the city of Philadelphia alone, as of yesterday, 243 murders so far. But the outrage for them 243 murders wasn't the same for the outrage of one person that got killed in Minnesota.
Which no life is.
Yeah.
One life lost unnecessarily is one life.
Yeah.
You know?
And me, if you, I speak up on everything. I don't choose when I'm going to speak up.
Right.
But I have a passion when our kids in our city are dying. Then my passion for somebody getting killed by a cop. Because it seemed like I have a friend that always speak up saying, Ike Raw, he always saying we always speak up in March when the cop kill us. But when we kill our own, we be quiet. And that's the thing, we got to stop being quiet. It should be the same rage. It should be the same passion. Because that was our future that just died. You never know who that would have been. And the thing is we have to protect our kids. We have to protect our babies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our babies are having trouble. I think that there's a lot. But we got to start with the churches, and then we got to go to the home.
And the home, but actually the schools, because that's where the friendships are learned. That's where the bonds. And if we teaching that in schools too, and that's teaching in the classrooms, what you learn, respect your brothers, respect your sisters, then it start there too. It start in the home, the schools, like you said, in the churches.
And then we got to take it, the message to the homes, because, I had a very disturbing video.
Mm-hmm.
I posted it on my Facebook.
Okay.
A very disturbing video of a few mothers walking with their children. Their children couldn't have been more than 2-3 years old, maybe 5
I think
tops.
I've seen that.
You seen it?
With the posters?
With the posters, and they were
F.
yeah, F the police, F the police. You're teaching a 3-year-old that kind of hatred.
Yeah.
And when you come out saying, how do we stop the hatred? Well, we stop the hatred by starting at home. I mean, I didn't find that funny at all.
No.
I didn't find that amusing. I was insulted by seeing that poor, beautiful child, and them kids were beautiful.
Yeah.
Walking around with them little signs. The signs were bigger than them, as a matter of fact. And they're walking around telling people F the police.
And they really don't know what they're doing.
No.
Like I said, that's learned behavior.
But it's learned hatred.
Yeah, learn hatred. Yep.
Learn hatred, because she keeps, a few more years of her growing up, God forbid she's in trouble, she's going to be afraid to go to the police.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's going to think that that's the boogeyman. And wow, that I cannot believe that wasn't cut off by the elites, the Facebook owners, and and all these organizations.
Well, they got their agenda, so they gonna show their agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff that they need to show, they gonna cut it off. The truth, they gonna cut the truth off.
Yeah. And it's scary, man. So you've seen the video, which one is a very disturbing video.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, I think that opening the churches, I think taking a message to the household.
Mm-hmm.
I think coming out and start getting involved in making sure the neighbors are okay. The basic fundamentals, no, you're not selling drugs on this corner.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to scrap up my house, and you're not going to burn churches down, and you're not going to, because they're starting to shoot people at these little rallies of theirs.
Oh yeah.
And they try to burn federal buildings with people inside of them. Now this is not funny. There was an era when black communities couldn't worship without fear that they got burnt down inside of a church.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're fighting for the rights of something, and you're doing the exact same thing
What you've been fighting for.
that we fought for and our fathers fought for, so it wouldn't happen.
Yep.
It's almost like we got technology here, but then we got stupid when it came to the past.
Yeah.
And how do we keep not repeating the past over again if we got little kids walking up the street with signs and they're
With hatred.
with hatred and on the signs, and with what's coming out of that poor kid's mouth is F the police.
Yeah.
I don't see how the hatred's gonna stop. I don't know. What's your feeling on this? What do you?
That's like I say, it's the parent, it's the today's parenting.
Yeah.
Is the lack of respect.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, because we was always taught to respect, no matter how. Like when you're young, if an old person was wrong, no matter if you knew they were wrong, you still have to respect them.
Right.
You let your parent know, then your parent address the situation, but that's a lack of respect. Like I wouldn't be teaching my kid that, even though I felt a certain way about a cop, because like we said, all of them are bad. Because see, the thing is, you're not just pointing out the bad cop. When you say that, you're pointing out all of them.
Yeah.
And there's way more good cops than bad cops.
Yeah.
So you're speaking hatred to all of them, even the good ones, even the ones that are going to be there for you. They're going to treat you right, going to treat you with respect. But now you're teaching your kids to hate cops.
I don't know. I just find it very disturbing when I saw them little kids walking around like that. I couldn't even think about, wow. If I would have seen my grandkids doing that, I would have went through the roof. Through the roof. Because you just that is teaching pure hatred. And you're not even teaching hatred to somebody's color. You're teaching hatred to an entire group of frontline support.
Yeah.
And you can't do that. So I agree with you, opening up the cities again, getting the schools back in, getting churches to get this. All these things are under our control.
Yeah, but you can do all these things under the guidelines.
Yeah.
People wearing their masks, people washing their hands, and because this disease is not deadly like they thought it was. Because if it's a 99% survival rate, that's like the common cold. That's like the flu.
And we're gonna have an antibody, because I have faith and I pray a lot, and I believe that we're gonna have that antibody.
I believe that antibody was already happened before before the thing all started.
And I'm hoping that people this November
Mm-hmm.
take some serious looks at how people are letting evil take over everything around them,
Oh yeah.
you know, and how they're letting the race card play. Us too.
Well-
I mean, I respect you. I love you. You're like my brother to me. Would I stand there and accept somebody talking to you wrong? No.
Well,
And I'm sure you're not gonna let it happen to me.
but if you think about it, because I just got into this politics about 2016, and when I look at races, they always use civil rights to try to get elected. And to me, civil rights was back in the 60s. We need to move on to something else.
I mean, you're a Republican,
Yeah.
and in Philadelphia, you're the sergeant at arms.
Mm-hmm.
Are you actually the first black
Yes.
Republican to be sergeant at arms?
Yes.
Come on. I am the first Latino candidate for Congress in the 2nd Congressional District of Philadelphia. The first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Come on. If it was a racist party, what's going on?
Well, you know the history. We started this.
Yeah.
We was at the helm, but they try to switch everything around. But if you look at history, they say, oh, the Republicans switched it with the Democrats. It never happened.
Yeah.
It never happened because the Democrats are still doing the same thing they've been doing back in the day, trying to hold us back, the minority people back, and use
It's
us
the people.
for their votes. Yeah.
Our message is simple, everyone. We the people, let's wake up. Let's look at what's going on around us. Let's not let any bias and color get in between, and let's do what we got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You want to send your lady a hello?
Just would like to shout out my beautiful wife, Gina Harley.
Hello.
Hopefully she listening.
And yes, she is beautiful. But go ahead.
I'm saying, man, you gonna talk? But no, that's like I said, we have a team called the Falcons at 22nd and Lehigh. So if you're in the North Philly area and around that area, and you would like your kid to play football, there's no weight limit. It's just age limit. It's 8 and under, 10 and under. You got 12 and under and 14 and under.
Okay. That's it. See you next Thursday. God bless you. God bless America.